Alright. So, Tenero's been arrested. I don't think she did it, though. I'm I'm starting to think it was either Oh Captain, My Captain, um, who only might try to make it seem like he's got an airtight alibi. I'm not sure how he was able to slip away from piloting the airplane, but then there's also it's possible. I think it's highly possible that it was Cammy. Um, or or I think it's also likely the two of them were working together because it was established then that the two of them do have a thing going on, but we still don't know why. Although I'm sure it has to do with this other case that Francie's been working. So, time to explore the cargo hold. Wow, so this is the cargo hold, huh? It's so big! Yep, there's all the more of those suitcases. This plane is a special model. It has both a super large cargo hold and ultra luxurious first-class seating. So this is the real scene of the murder. There is certainly a high probability of that, which is why we're here, correct? Yeah, because the killer could have... They could have killed Hicks, put him in the elevator... Put him in the elevator, which is where we although if that was the case, what'd they need the suitcase for? There's still unanswered questions. Okay, let's get investigating, sir. Indeed. Holy suitcases, Mr. Edgeworth. Like an all-you-can-use suitcase fair. Those must be all the leftover ones they couldn't sell. Edgy, your sprite's kind of glitching out there. The ones the company is planning to dispose of after this flight is over. This paint job is really cool, don't you think? Practically screams artsy. Oh, why not purchase one then? I'm sure it'll bring you much happiness. You think so? Maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200? I think I'll pass. And Ms. Tenero wonders why they don't sell. You need 2 jobs just to buy one. This definitely looks like one's missing. What's this brittle substance I'm stepping on? It's a bunch of glass fragments. What have we here? Hey, what's with the suitcase, pal? It's what the victim checked in, sir. So the suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we took a closer look. There's nothing out of the ordinary in here, sir. Wait, a file. And there's a photo of Miss Von Karma in it, sir. It looks like a profile in Francisca. Oh. Is he an admirer? Why would Mr. Hicks have had a file on her? You arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, right? And you then immediately began to direct the investigation. It seems to me that you were already here at this airport for something besides this murder. Yes, I was. I've been following a very large and involved government-level international crime. But it's much too large for one person to take on alone. So it was decided that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol. Interpol is involved. It's a top-secret operation, so I really can't tell you any more than I already have. Oh, I just love pushing the buttons on elevators and crosswalk signals. Here, you should give it a try, sir. Go on, push it. The elevator is currently stopped on the first floor, Detective. It cannot move. Oh yeah, I guess nothing would happen if you pushed it now. Well, nothing would happen normally anyway without the special key card. Both the door to the attendance room and the elevator's control panels require a key card, which makes it impossible for a passenger to come down here. Okay, yeah. So those glass shards must have come from his broken glasses. I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses. And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses. Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remnants of the glass lenses. Ergo, the victim was here, just as I suspected. So you're saying the real scene of the crime was here, sir? Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now? Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Perhaps it's a bit too early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find the murder weapon. Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documents profiling Francisca? Oh, I know. I bet he's a big fan of Miss Von Karma, sir. Francisca said she had come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation. Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks had heard she was coming here, and he followed her. Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was in actuality Interpol agent Hicks. I think Francisca has some explaining to do. You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you? Nonsense! What are you talking about? We've found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so he could recognize you when he landed. Huh. If this was so top secret, though, you'd think they would have, already confiscated that. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol Agent Hicks. Isn't that correct? I should have known you'd figure it out, Miles. But it looks like they got to him first. So you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent, then? Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring. He went undercover to investigate this crime. And it was I who put him on this case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once he had landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead. I think we now have pretty definitive evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold. What was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Well, if he was investigating a smuggling ring... Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase and came down to get it. Ow! Oh. Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason. Of that, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Francisca, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation? No. Unfortunately, I was going to find out from him after he landed. I see. But this raises another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own. Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew. And entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in. Yes, and then he was murdered here. These glass fragments and his broken glasses are a testament to that. So he must have had the misfortune of that crew member he came in with being part of the smuggling ring. And so once they were down here with him, they killed him. The killer put Agent Hicks into one of the spare suitcases, and they entered the elevator. But while they were riding it up, the plane hit that patch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open, and Agent Hicks's body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor. I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit is at this stage. What? Really, sir? I know what you're thinking, Miles Edgeworth. But the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Tenero. If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks to the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is the keycard that allows the elevator to come down here. The only person with such a high-level access is Ms. Rhoda Tenero. I'd say that's a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you? I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that. Ah, yes. And the killer must have taken this and put that in the suitcase with him, hoping they could frame, LeBlanc for it. Decisive. Do you really think it's that strong?
Objection!
There is no room for doubt. All of the other evidence points to her as well. No snappy comeback? That's as it should be. There's not a single flaw in Franziska's reasoning. However, there must be something I can work with that I can draw out of her. That might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Ms. Meal, or even the captain. Don't be a fool. A plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a horse without a rider, crop in hand. Much like Scruffy over there. Yeah! I can't disagree with her on that. Detective Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand. Very well then, what about the other flight attendant, Ms. Meal? I thought you might ask about her.
Hold it!
But it's highly likely that the key card was stolen from Ms. Tenero.
Objection!
It's highly likely? Is that possibility the best you can come up with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father. Yeah! Yes, well, while I don't have any evidence, Be quiet, you're a disgrace. There is more evidence pointing to Miss Rhoda Tenero, you know. It's not just the key card that gives her away. Are you talking about the murder weapon, the Mr. I-Fly piggy bank? Yes, she is also the only person with a key to open that display case.
Hold it! Objection!
That's a fate. Stop right there, Miles Edgeworth. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. If you must keep on insisting that it's a fake, then what is the real murder weapon and where did it go? Speechless, I see. That's not the surprise. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as the murder weapon. What should be examined further to help us ascertain the authenticity of the weapon? Right, yeah. Because remember, they haven't performed an autopsy yet, so we don't know the true cause of death yet. Franziska, I think you were too weak to jump to your conclusions. Oh, was I? Yes. We don't even have the autopsy results yet. How can I not say that you made a snap judgment when you have yet to even see if the wound on Agent Higgs's head is consistent with a murder weapon? They could have killed him some other way first. Scruffy? Yes, sir. Contact the medical examiner's office at once. I wish to hear the results of Agent Hicks's autopsy. Yeah, yes, sir. We've got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. What is it, Detective? They're still doing the autopsy, but they said they already know one thing for sure. Report, now. The doc said it's one giant bruise from a beating on his shoulder down to his mid-back. One giant bruise from a... Shoulder down to his mid-back. He was beaten over such a wide area. Well, I'd say maybe it's a sign the killer had a grudge against Agent Hicks. It wasn't just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir. Scruffy, what is this had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean? Well, that's, Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, Detective? Oh, well, they said they were still looking into that, sir. You're completely useless. Ow! Sir, I told you already, you can't go down there. No, you remove yourself from my way. Who's this? What is all of that racket? Huh. Oh, you again. My luggage, my cargo, they're mine, and I demand you return them to me. We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience. I suppose there is no choice. Finally, I think Hey, what are you? You have left me no choice but to use strong force. Ah! You won't get past me. Dead. This is... Wait, that's it. So that's what this whole thing has been about. Further, there is the matter of the key to the display case that held the murderer's bank. Oh, was he thrown off the... Was he thrown off the balcony? Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there's extensive bruising over such a wide area. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark. Which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger. for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out. So far, we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we've all overlooked from the very beginning. Because normally it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration. What was that all about? He's trying to jump his way down here? Francisca. What? What do you want? I found it, Francisca. I found the real murder weapon. You did? He really jumped! We didn't realize it until now, but the answer has been right in front of us this whole time. He might be hurt. We should go check on him, sirs. There's that pompous attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit. Oh, you should talk. Yeah, this is coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping her when she comes across. Anyway, if you really are a prosecutor, then you'll back yourself up with evidence. You two aren't listening at all, are you? No. Come on then, show me this real murder weapon you speak of. I don't have any evidence to show you. Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool from a foolishly foolish fool meant to fool me! There it is. Oh, Francie. What do you mean by I don't have any evidence to show? Perhaps I should have phrased it as that which caused Agent Hicks's death is incorporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I figured out what was the real cause of death. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground. He fell to his death? Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and his back. And the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death. But the murder happened inside this plane. I know. Are you claiming there's some place in this plane from which he could have fallen from? Yes, we just saw it. As I said earlier, the answer's been right in front of us the entire time. You can't mean... Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this very cargo hold. What? Then... We're in trouble. We may have a second death on our hands, sirs. Hey, you! Tell me you're dead, pal! Quiet. Why are you screaming? He's alive! And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that. I suppose it's true that it's not possible given the current circumstances. The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean? Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then? He would have been a Borginian pancake for sure, sir. I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. But the reality is that the cargo box is there. So there's no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios. It may be there now, but there's no proof it was always there. Ha! As if there could have been a window of time when that giant box was not there. Ah, but there was. What? What can I use to show her that it's possible the box was not always where it is now? Ooh, I think I know. to transfer cargo in Zhengfa.
Take that!
You refueled in the Republic of Zhengfa. Yes, this flight had a short layover in Zhengfa in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question. Ah, it's labeled Zhengfa Express. Correct, meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Zhengfa. Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time? It would mean that the box was not there in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zhengfa leg of the flight, making a clear drop from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible. Ah, but your theory is still very far-fetched. Then allow me a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. My first order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. Okay. This is a rather large piece of cargo. There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. Aleph Red Statue? Never heard of it. Nor I, but all I care about is if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime. Now let's get investigating, sir! Oh. Now what? Look here, do not go about touching my possessions without my permission. Don't rush up on me like that, pal! So this belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc. Of course it is mine. I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. This Aleph Red statue is worth 10 million cents. No, maybe much, much more. Mr. LeBlanc's reason for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold. 10 million cents? I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, Detective. Darn, how'd you do that? I feel like you keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year. Though I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun, I have the distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, so that 10 million cents, is that in euros or in dollars? Does it really make a difference to our case? Mr. LeBlanc, there's a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer. It is a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching. Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible this fake statue was brought on board in Zhengfa. I think I need to question him a bit further. about your statue, Mr. LeBlanc. I wonder if it might be a fake. What? How dare you say my art is fake? I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring. Don't say such fantastical things. Those thieves would not dare. I have the certification of my cargo right here. So you'll mean the cargo certification document. Mr. Zinc LeBlanc, why didn't you say so earlier? Please show it to us at once. I can't read this. What does it say? It says, as plain as day, the cargo was put into the plane in Europe. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. This statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in the certificate. No, that's... Which means that there never was a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting there. I respectfully disagree. We can't discount the theory until I see the statue for myself. Then you can have your wish. Look at it yourself and see I'm right. This. I know I've seen this somewhere before. This is the leaf red. Gives us such a feeling of art. I can practically smell it. This statue has a high amount of historic value. After it was unveiled at a museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit it. I believe a closer look is warranted here. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. So this is the infamous Leaf Red statue. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something? There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. Yeah, I think I saw it too, because... Yeah. Yeah, in that photo the eyes are red, but in this ones are yellow.
Eureka!
Those eyes are awfully orange, don't you think? Yeah, pretty. They remind me of sunsets when I was in grade school, sir. I don't think you see what I'm talking about. No, I do, but it's really like the color of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, the memories. I remember standing out in that field, spinning with my arms out until I fell ill. I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. What color are the eyes in this photo? Huh? Ah, sir, they're red! As I thought, this statue is a fake. Mr. LeBlanc. What do you want? Do you not know I am a busy man? I'll allow you 2 seconds for your answer. The leaf red. I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not? It is the biggest trophy on this European trip. Do you know why I wanted to possess this statue? The trigger started 17 years ago. He was triggered. Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is going to be a long story. Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but... What is that? Sympathy for what? You'll see. I'd like you to compare the eyes. That large fellow there has very bright and pretty eyes compared to you. I wasn't talking about the two of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us and the one in this photo. Why the sudden yelling? Now then... Oh! It is a photo of the statue on display at the museum in Europe. Ah! Now do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake. A fake? I believe that even further examination will be required. Now that we've confirmed this is indeed a fake, there must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Zhengfa. And I'll present to you evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction. What's this? The statue looks like it's stepping all over its neighbor's cloth cover. Which means this was brought in after the one next to it. Kind of resembles its owner's attitude in a sense. You, what did you said now? Further, my clothing's hem is not being stepped on by anyone. It is too expensive for me to allow that to happen. Please forgive the trespasses of my subordinate. Why should I forgive if he trespasses? Unless it is an expensive dress, you keep it. Okay, but...
Eureka!
Not entirely confident there's a contradiction here. What do you think, Detective? Well, I think it's really suspicious looking, sir. My well-trained gut says so. I see, I must be mistaken. How come when I answer confidently, you take that to mean we're off course, sir? There's clearly a contradiction here. What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of a cargo cover getting stuck under another piece of cargo. Ah, that's not possible! But it is. It shouldn't be this way, but the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighboring piece of cargo was brought on board in Zhengfa, there is no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe. Which means that this fake statue was smuggled on board in Zhengfa. But then what about the cargo certificate? Let me ask in return, what about Ancient Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There's only one reason why. To secure proof of smuggling activity aboard this flight. So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. We could have just as easily inspected all of the cargo after the plane landed. That may be true. However, you have it backwards, Francisca. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed, but he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall on the statue's owner, who would have no way to prove that the statue is switched without his knowledge. Which means there is someone involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates. I guess the victim knew the real version of this was going to get nabbed, huh? Yes. While this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold. A rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board. A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Zheng Fa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler. Exactly. This only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the Europe Zheng Fa leg of the trip, there would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death. Officer! Move the statue immediately. I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath. Now! Ms. Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings. Go on. After moving the Aleph Red statue out of the way, we tested the area under it with luminol, and there was a reaction. Ah. I see. There was a reaction to luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot. Yeah. Can we stop looking at it now, sirs? It would seem that my deductions were correct after all. I suppose it would appear that way. The culprit cleaned the blood up well. And how do you think the killer did that? How'd the killer clean up all the blood? They probably used...
Take that!
The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess. I see. They had a need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Zheng Fa. Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover. So you guys are saying the murder happened before the plane landed in Zheng Fa? There's no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. Except for one... Where is it? Cammy said he was there. And that he was actually... I think he was the one that he had called her. After the plane took off. Again. Okay, now she's looking really sus in this. Because she had to have been lying then. If this is true. But if that's true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before we landed in Zheng Fa, then this becomes highly suspect. Ms. Meal's testimony. Recall Ms. Meal's testimony about Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed Zheng Fa. I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know. She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but... That totally contradicts the facts, sir! But why would she lie about something like that? I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Meal herself. All right. So with that, give me a few minutes again. Hopefully we can wrap this case up when I come back. So I'll see you in a few minutes.